Alright guys, welcome back to another Warframe video. In the last video we did a first impression of Saryn. That is one I picked up from the circuit, and I actually got to play with it a little bit in the circuit, so the last video was my first outside of, them throwing a really good setup on it within the circuit to get to play test. So I seem to like the frame a fair bit, though when I was in some higher level content I was having difficulty, albeit I was playing solo, but I was having difficulty staying on my feet using Saryn. I was grinding some of the upper level bounties in the Zaraman, trying to get some plumes, specifically for upgrades. I am going to be coming back to Saryn, but I feel like I definitely need to tweak the build. There's probably a setup that, if I used it, would either give me a little more survivability or just outright brute strength with that frame, since they have the ability intrinsically to rotate through 3 different status effects. So it's one that probably, once you know how to use it properly, which will just take time in the saddle, you can probably come up with a much better build than I did. So I will be going back to Saryn and continuing to play with my setup on it. But I wanted today is to jump over to the Sanctum Anatomica and work on some bounties. There's, I believe it might be, is it Gaijin that's over there, or Qorvex? I forget. Maybe it's Qorvex. Some parts over there, and I also need to complete some bounties for standing so I can rank up. I do want to show you just real quick in the background. As I mentioned the other day, I do have Oberon crafting. It's got a little under a day, and this is now, I am recording Tuesday, June the 25th. So it's the new circuit week, and the one that I caught that popped up was the Mirage frame, which obviously that's the last kind of story mission, Warframe story mission I have left to do. This will give me access to it because I will complete it this week, but make no mistake, I am going to go back to play the quest. It's one of those just kind of poke around until you get it. I know it's related to mythology, so really the only problem with the star chart is you could argue that a vast majority of the possible places on any given planetary body are highly going to be related to mythology, because they were by and large named after Greek and Roman names. Like, I don't know how much any of you know about astronomy, but on the planetary bodies themselves, the locations that are mapped in specific geographic features on the planets in our solar system are largely named either something in Latin or from Greek or Roman mythology. So like Olympus, that is the name of a mission here, but that is a legitimate geographic feature on Mars that they named Mount Olympus, as from mythology. So there's a ton of them like that. I could narrow it down and just make a list and go after them, or just do it the hard way, as I've done on some other quests. Pick a planet, jump on it, pop in every mission node and see if anything pops up. That could take some time, but either way, there's a few ways to go about it. So I will eventually be going back to do that quest, the Mirage quest, but today we are going to be focusing on running some bounties. And yes, my original plan was to keep playing for a while, try to learn more, get more gear before jumping into Steel Path, but it was alluded that in my comments that I'm not understanding. I haven't toggled it on how it functions. My thought was it's kind of like a new game plus. You choose yes, and then you're locked in at it. But from some of the comments, it almost sounded like you have your choice. Like maybe once I go Steel Path, if I were to pick, say, Nex, there would be a Steel Path option that would have way higher than level 55 to 60 enemies, or I could pick the regular Nex 55 to 60. I don't know if that's how it functions, but that's kind of what it seemed intimated to me. So we will figure that out down the line. But for the immediate here now, we're going to jump into the Sanctum Anatomica and see if we can get some good bounty grinding work done for standing. And yeah, I have a lot of that to do in a lot of places still, guys. So there's all this new stuff. Yeah.
Will you walk the steel path?
Fibonacci. Yes, I will, Teshin. Eventually. I promise you I will. Probably this week I will toggle it on. So let's talk to Fibonacci.
We begin.
My Cavia standing, I already have it
You
up to
have
rank
proven
1.
yourself
You'll see
worthy of
that
trust.
I now have the parts that I
Stick
need.
around for a
However,
while, you.
I need to grind bounties again to get the actual rank. So the daily standing cap for me is 23,000, and that resets in 33 minutes. Not that I could likely hit max in 33 minutes, but I can at least, you know, if I were to hit the max at this existing rank, I could still rank it up again in the given day. So what I want to do is I want to back out of there. I want to check the bounties real quick. I believe it was Qorvex, right? Qorvex. It is. So let me back out of that one more time. I'm going to quickly check my equipment, my inventory, and I'm going to see what parts I have for Qorvex. So let's just type in QOR. That ought to immediately just pull up Qorvex. The blueprint we got for completing a main story mission, and I also have the chassis. So, systems and neuroptics.
One has no choice but to entrust you with this.
Bounties.
Please, be worthy of it.
Okay, that's the easy one there. It's not worth a ton of standing, but it is pretty easy. So, neuroptics for that. Chassis I've got, I believe. What's the chassis or systems? I don't know. I'll double check. So we know we're going to be starting with Wrecking Crew, Armatus. It's a disruption. So no problem. I'm just going to select that. So we're just going to do a little bounty grinding here today and see if we get lucky. Obviously, I will do... Whoops. Oh, yeah, that's right. It teleports me right to it. I will do cuts in between grinds because I don't expect the part to drop on the first run. You never know. Sometimes you get lucky. But I'm expecting to have to do it a few times. And then when we rotate the mission, we'll just change it again and continue moving on. So we need to break stuff. As well, it said. This guy's spinning. I've seen the frame a few times playing different things. I don't know what frame it is, but it's rather amusing. It's going to float around spinning and really mess up everything in the room. Oh, we can't mess with that. The decorations are all already broken. That's good. I hate these snakes. Did that thing just re-overshield again? Down you go. Down you go.
Grossling detected. That little monster will have a double.
Whoops. Was trying to hit the explosive guy. Looks like maybe he's already hit. Somebody finish it off. I got stuck on an object there. Not ideal, but hey, it happens. Okay. Couple guys over there, just one over there. See if I can get back to these guys over here. Oh, that's one of the companions. So everybody's in a different place right now, it seems. Which I guess is fine. Looks like it's coming from up the stairs here. is. Perfect.
When I take ownership of your museum and all its contents, will you, Drusus Bavarian, be included? Make this easy for me, and I will make that transition comfortable for you. But if you prolong the inevitable...
I cannot leave you.
It doesn't look to me like they're trying to extract right now.
The Laverian.
You're on.
It's just one guy left. That's fine. I mean, look, we went through 2, 3, 4 wave cycles. I don't know. Either way, it was fun. Good group. Everybody working together. Man, this game is so much fun. Like, I don't know any of these guys. Just like everybody's in here working towards a common goal. So many games that follow the same type of format do such a not good job with it. Oh, we got a Dante blueprint for that. I wasn't expecting a Dante blueprint. Vessel capillaries. That is one of the currencies you can use for that. A couple different vocas. Necrocoils. Okay, so we did not get...
You must seek me out to walk the steel path. I will be waiting.
the Qorvex part that we needed, but we got a Dante blueprint and some more of those capillaries, so that's not bad.
I have attempted to explain your task.
Alright guys, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to hop back into that same one. I'm going to grind it a few times out. Maybe I get lucky, get that Qorvex part I'm looking for, and then we're going to keep working. But I want to move to some of the higher tier ones so I can at least try to get, you know, if I could get halfway through the standing requirement, that would be great. I don't know realistically. That highest tier one that's worth 5,000, the enemies are pretty high level. I mean, maybe I could get through it since I'm playing Rhino, but it might be rough. Either way, I'll do a quick cut. I'll grind this out a bit, and, you know, if I get the part, we'll pull it up, I'll show you, and we'll move on to another bounty. Alright, guys, so rather, like I said, sometimes you get lucky. Literally, the very next run that I just did took 5 minutes 15. I got that Qorvex part, so I'm just going to back out of this group real quick. I appreciate the run, guys. They played great as a team. And I'm going to pop over here, and actually, let me double check again what parts I have now. Equipment, inventory, QO. That's probably all I need. What else begins with QO? Just Qorvex. So I just need the systems. All right. Let's see which one gives systems.
Complete attention.
Okay, it's the tier 3, level 75 to 80 enemies for 3,000. So that's probably a pretty good middle ground. Obviously, it runs up to 115 to 120. That's probably a really fun challenge, but it probably is also longer to get through it. This also looks like this is maybe only a 3-round one versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think that's what those dots on the bottom mean, like how many specific objectives within the bounty to complete it are required. So either way, guys, we're gonna load up into the Tide of Loke. 2 Loke surges. Yeah. Okay, I think that's the ones where you jump up and grab those glyphs to reset the room with like a security apparatus. I think that's right. Find out when we get there here in just a minute. But we just need the systems, and then we can check what all the crafting requirements are for the Qorvex parts once we have them all. Sure, there's probably going to be a little bit of grinding for crafting parts. There usually is. Okay, so it's just survival, effectively. At least that's what it looks like. Looks like the weak spots are on their arms on the canisters, on the kind of void rig looking things. Trying to confirm that.
They're expensive.
So I can get a lot of hits in here with this one. These guys are pretty tanky, so this may give me a good opportunity to pop Incarnate. Yeah. Help make that guy a bit stronger. Yeah. I do like this weapon in its incarnate form. It's pretty fast hitting. I think it's blast damage is what it's throwing out, primarily.
Sending another capsule. These don't grow on trees, you know.
Whoops. Yeah, these incarnate weapons are a trip. Alright, we're at 55. Strengthen the room. Oh, this game. So good. Okay, so Incarnate Form is already gone now. Which is okay. So long as I can keep finding enemies. Keep that multiplier up. Just gotta find 1, 2 heavy attack. Oh no. I'm gonna lose it. Oh no. Yeah, it took too long. That's okay. They're in a thing now.
By your attack that I am able to siphon valuables from murmur strongholds. They will never see this fish coming.
Yeah,
You can
I'll
come
follow
home
the
now.
guy that's heading up.
No
That's
need to be a
fine.
hero on my account.
I
Unless,
agree.
Of course, you want to be.
Whoops. Yep. Sometimes they do have quick turns on you.
You have but 60 seconds of life support remaining.
Ah, we're fine. Is that a mag? I think that's mag. Or no, is that Valkyr? They kind of look like the Predator. I'm guessing that's the vibe they were going for. It looks really cool. The fashion, guys. The fashion. It's real. It's very real. There it is. See if we get lucky. Nope. Radiated reload. On rifle? Okay. So we didn't get the part we needed there.
Here, Tenno.
But we
Let's
got
put
through
it
it
to work.
without much issue, really.
Tenno,
That's
will
fine.
you walk the steel path?
Alright guys, so yeah, I'm gonna employ basically the same exact structure I just did. I'll grind this a bit in the background. I just want to try to get at least halfway up this rank on affinity for them. So I'll do a cut. If I get lucky and get it done, then we'll go back and see if we can get all the Qorvex parts crafting. But I'll run this a few more times. If it doesn't happen today, it doesn't happen today. But gonna do that same bounty 2, 3, 4 more times until it drops. So cut, and we'll be back. All right, guys, so I just finished running it maybe 5, 6 times. I did it a couple times with a group, but I ran it, I don't know. God, I probably ran it 7 or 8 times because I ran it solo 5 or 6. And I did not get the part that I was looking for, but I should have, yep, what I need for the rank up. So I'm going to go ahead and pop the rank up to the next rank. We'll say yes.
Stick around.
Researcher.
Will you?
I am sure that there's a decent benefit for that.
You deserve a little
bounty.
something for your
Oh,
efforts.
wow. All
Only
right.
little though.
Shields are depleted with a 10-second cooldown. Yeah, all of these actually sound pretty decent. I think I'll take that one, though. That actually sounds really useful.
Now take your sweetie and run along.
Oh, little cutscene again. Should have seen that coming.
Mr. Fishinacci? Mr. Fishinacci? Mr. Fishinacci? Mr. Fishinacci! Mr. Tagfer's been bumping his head against that pipe a lot. I mean, a lot. Mr. Fishinacci! Why is Mr. Tagfer bumping his...
bloody know.
See if we can get it all
I don't
cleared.
know. Bird 3. Tagfer? One couldn't help but notice your behavior taking on an idiosyncratic bent of late. Is everything quite all right?
Indubitably.
Tagfer? Tagfer?
What reason would I have to think everything isn't quite all right? Should I rephrase?
I merely wish to comfort you, to aid you, if I can, in this, the moment of your grief.
Another word.
Oh, I've had quite enough of this. You are not the only one here dealing with the horrors that besieged us in that accursed bell. The fears, the nightmares, the guilt.
What would any of us have to feel guilty about? Fibonacci?
Okay. Getting a little bit of lore of what happened to them while they were gone before we brought them back. Interesting. All right, so yeah, guys, we got that done. Let's see what the next rank is going to require. Foca, Foil, Stellar credits. Just 44,000, that's not bad. Could knock that out in a couple days.
The manner in which a crisis reveals character, yes? How one might...
Perfect. Okay, guys, so yeah, I'm not going to keep grinding that for the day, but I made some pretty solid progress. Honestly, yeah, the bounties in here are pretty fun. I like the different enemy types than just, you know, running into Corpus or Grenier or Infested, so it's nice to have some other enemy types, and these are pretty interesting. Let's see.
Make the best
what
of
else
things.
could I do for
Tenno.
Lloyd? I've already got the blueprint.
What you have gathered, maybe
Because I picked that up while running a bounty in there. I got the Ruvox. So that's an incarnate weapon. Awesome. So I wonder what it requires to craft that.
I'll
So
just
I'm
put
done running
this
bounties. We're going to back
away.
out of here for the day, but let's just take stock of any of the new unlocks we got. Either way, yeah, I'm really enjoying it. The Sanctum Anatomica has some cool stuff in there.
Operator, messages have arrived in your inbox.
Tenno, will you walk the steel path?
Okay. From the Cavia? Relevant segment? Interesting. For this, yeah, I did actually pick up some platinum. My deal of the day was get 50% free. So, yeah, I picked some up. I'm going to keep needing slots and stuff as I progress, so I have at least got it there. And, of course, if I want to buy some visual customizations, I can do that. I got plenty in the tank. Nightwave. Awesome, so I knocked out a few here.
All this out of the kindness of your hearts.
Stance forma, that would be nice. Wow, without even trying, I knocked out a few of these today. Yeah, the ones this week sound pretty easy to knock them all out, and I'm pretty sure if you get all of those done, that will reset and throw in additional dailies at least. But yeah, guys, I'm not going to delve too much into that, but this is pretty much, sticking to my plan. Like I said, I'm going to pick one thing at a time. I'm going to make that my focus for the day and then move on. Though, to be fair, as I said earlier, for the spiral, or rather the circuit, I did pick Mirage, so I just played a couple quick rounds, got it started. I've got till the end of the week. Today's only Tuesday, so we'll finish that off. That does not mean that I'm not going to do this Hidden Messages. Is that the name of it? Yep, Hidden Messages. And, of course, there's the new one that popped, Jade Shadows. And I know there's an event going on related to the new content that dropped, so we will also be getting to that. And I also want to come back and play with Saryn a bit more to see if I can get a better setup for her to give her a little more survivability. I don't know if it's just how I have her modded. She's not hitting hard enough. I'm not using the right stuff to make her function how like Warframe Vet would spec up Saryn. But when I tried to jump into some, level 60, 70 enemies solo, it was brutal with Saryn. I did not feel remotely like I could stay on my feet. Rhino never really gives me a problem. Trinity doesn't give me a problem. Volt, if I remember to grab his shield, is pretty good too. There's a few frames that really I don't mind soloing higher difficulty enemies because they just work well. But Saryn and I didn't feel that way, and I'm sure it's user error, but we're definitely going to have to spend some time and get back to that. So Oberon is getting close, and the forma's in there. So, yeah, guys, like I said, I still had a lot of angles to go after. I need to continue spending time in Zariman to go after, I think it's Pinion Plumes is what I need for this next Incarnate weapon. What was it? It was a primary, no, it's a melee, it's a secondary. What's the name of the thing?
Tenno, a new alert has begun. It will
Not
be marked on
Altanox.
navigation.
Felarx. 2 more Pinion Plumes. And I'm getting pretty low on Void Gel Orbs as well, so I definitely need to spend, probably the next session, I'll try to grind out some Zariman bounties. I may try to bring Saryn in, but I don't want to drag down the team while I'm trying to figure out the right setup for Saryn. I'm sure she's good because she played great when I was playing the circuit and she popped up. Seemed to work extremely well, so it's obviously something in my setup. So I'll pop up Saryn so you can see where I left on her again. It was in my first impressions video. But this is where I left it. Probably would be better if I just potatoed it, but, I don't have... Warframe receives 0.5 energy regen per second. That's not even a... Wow. That's not even an aura mod. That's actually a really awesome mod. So you could say run Steel Charge or whatever you want and still have a means of pulling energy back in. That's great. So the reason I set Saryn up was the same reason I set the Enidem up, because I was using that really with Saryn for the first time, and it all kind of seemed to work synergistically. And I'm not disappointed with you know, in general, the damage that she does, it's just survivability. Even with the shields that I threw in there, it's just survivability. So I'm sure that there's something I could be doing better here, even with, you know, just the pool of mods that I have at my disposal. I think I have enough now that there's probably a way to set Saryn up really, really well. I just haven't figured it out yet. And yes, I have technically completed the main story, and I did say to some folks in my comments over the last few weeks, you know, my goal was to play my first playthrough of this game completely blind, not using the wiki, kind of the FromSoft theory, and I think that I have thoroughly had a good time enjoying it, and I have obviously figured out a lot, but as everybody pointed out from the very beginning, it's a very big game with a lot of stuff that not all of it is explained super well. And, you know, the devs intended for there to be a community pulling the information everybody gleans together into a resource for you to be able to make more sense and set yourself up for success. So I am not going to use the wiki for a crutch, and I will for sure be making a video the day that I do look at it, and that's going to be coming soon. I want to start the Steel Path option first before we get there, but I think the first thing that I want to do is I will probably just look up a few things in the background just for really kind of mod purposes. I've had a bunch of people give me a lot of great information, but, you know, trying to go back and forth between my computer reading comments and making sense of the stuff I've put together. I've put together some decent builds on a few frames, but probably most of the ones that I've built are trash and or very much in need of a rework with all the new mods that I've pulled out over the last few months. But one thing I am going to do, I'm not going to use the wiki as a crutch, but the reference is there. I am going to use it. I have completed the game. You know, the first cycle. I know I'm nowhere near completing the game. I just mean the first playthrough, I did it with just some nudges in the right direction from you, my viewers, which I sincerely appreciate. Also, again, I've reiterated this many times. Sincere gratitude for nobody throwing outright solutions and spoilers, really. I mean, a time or two, and when I caught it, I just skipped past. And it's mostly people that probably didn't start watching stuff that I was doing from the very beginning, and unless I repeat it, they may have never caught it or heard it, that I was doing a blind playthrough, just figuring everything out on my own with small nudges in the right directions without actually being given the solution. Little trial by fire and figure it out, which to me is very rewarding. But now that we're going to be stepping up the difficulty, I probably need to fine-tune some of my deficiencies. There's probably specific gear and weapons I need to go after, and I need to understand on a greater level some of the key fundamentals of the modding system. And, you know, just as a reminder again, I jumped into Warframe because after a decade of Destiny, I got a little disillusioned with where that game went. So this one came recommended. That's how I first discovered Warframe in the first place, and I haven't stopped playing it since. It's been a little over a year. I haven't touched Destiny since. But the mod system in Destiny, albeit it is also very involved like this, there's not a ton in Destiny that's hidden. It spells out crystal clearly. Here's what this mod does. Here's exactly the effect that it will have, and there's not like hidden math behind it. There's not hidden, you know, multiplicative or additive base in how it calculates and does things. For as big as it is and big as it is to learn, which is not dissimilar to this game, in my opinion, I think Destiny modding is quite a bit more simple, and it's easier to come up with really good and interesting builds in Destiny, and in my opinion. So one of the things I am going to do is I'm going to use the wiki, maybe pick one of my favorite frames, or maybe one that I just feel like, gosh, this frame to me doesn't feel that great, but it probably is, because I'm sure people have builds that they use, that main frames that, you know, I haven't figured out quite yet, and just look to see what they do and just test it out. So that is one of the things I'm going to be doing in an upcoming video, and I'm certainly curious to see what the end result's going to be. But like I said, I'm not going to use it as a crutch. I'm going to use it there as a learning tool to try to tighten up my understanding of the fundamentals which you really need. And in this game and games like it, that truly does come down to the mod system. So some stuff I've done reasonably well, some stuff I've done extremely horribly. And as we get into the higher level content and in-game, well, the starting path of the in-game, I know I've got thousands of hours left to go, which is amazing. I love it. That's years of play. Yeah, I'm definitely going to want to know what I'm doing to be able to give myself the best ability to hit as hard as I can and to stay on my feet. That's the end goal. If I'm, the hardest hitting thing I have right now is the Nautilus, and it does pretty well, but I can't just use this as a crutch the entire playthrough. So there's stuff I need to learn, there's stuff I need to acquire, and just make better builds. So yeah, guys, that's all coming up in the not too distant future. But next time we're going to switch back over, spend a little time in the Zarmon, see if we can't get that next incarnate weapon going. And then we're getting ever closer to me finally going to visit Teshin and seeing what the Steel Path is about. So yeah, I'm excited and nervous at the same time. But yeah, it's going to be really, really fun. There's a lot of stuff to do, and just one step at a time, guys. That is going to do it for today's video. As always, I do sincerely appreciate you checking in today, and we will catch you on the next one.